G'day everybody, Danesy here, welcome back to the second channel. I know it's been a while, and for those that are not aware, the second channel is all about basically just the raw woodworking and me talking rubbish, effectively. I strip away all the story, all the bits and pieces. This is just about woodwork, and kind of like how it used to be in the good old days of YouTubing woodworkers, but unfortunately those days are gone because it is harder to get people to watch your videos. Anyway, here we go. So the pallets that I started with were actually a couple of pallets that I'd busted down or used to do the safety pallet video. So this is the hardwood, one of those was the hardwood pallet, the other was the pine pallet. That hardwood pallet is actually so good that I decided to keep all those slats from that pallet. I'll put them aside. I think that'll be a worthy video in itself at some other stage. But what I was actually after on this video was pine pallets, and normally they're really easy to find and they're in abundance all over the place. Admittedly, I didn't go looking in a heap of places. I was more just picking up those random ones, like off the side of the road near a dumpster, the ones people might throw out at the front of their house, which was fine. But what I actually wanted were those nice broad pallets that were about 25mm thick, which would have reduced my workload. Instead, I got reasonably thin, reasonably crappy pallets. So for this particular project, which is the deck chair that I've made before, I had to laminate a heap of timber together. Now, I have made this deck chair before, and it wasn't the most economical for timber, where I made the corners, made the other pieces of this big square frame individually. This time I thought I would do a process of laminating up these boxes. So I'm sort of creating like your half lap joints all the way around to give myself this broader workpiece that the CNC could then cut those nice curved arms that I was after. So the curves match my original deck chair. This is made out of deck wood. This one is all going to be made out of pine. And again, these are very ordinary pallets. And also, I don't want us to pay too much attention to some of the gaps and voids or not having a perfect seam or a perfect glue up, because this particular deck chair is actually going to be painted, and that was the reason that I actually just wanted pine. I'll just interrupt myself. Here is actually another pallet with a heap of slats that aren't pine, so I'm going to save that one for later as well. And as this project actually progressed, I just kept bringing in more and more pallets. It was 7 in total, but I didn't use every single piece of every single pallet. It was probably about 5 in total, I guess, where I used most of the stuff. Right, so back to the project. There was a heap of laminating together. I had to do all sorts of things, like here, again, these aren't very broad pallets, so I would join 2 pallet slats together like this to give myself that broad distance that I need. And as long as they were interlocking, again, all these layers built up, it's going to get progressively stronger to create that chunky armrest that I was after for these deck chairs. And then a lot of that other lamination you'll see is just generally 2 or 3 slats put together where I'm just creating a nice thick piece for the CNC to cut. They're about 25mm pieces, so all the rails for the bum pieces and the back pieces, they all had to be laminated together as well. So this piece here is actually an old dining table. Spoke about that in the main video, but that actually produced a heap of stock for me. It's not pine. It's actually really nice timber. I don't even know what it is, but it's very light. But it's got a nice texture or denseness to it, if you will. But again, I'm going to cut all of that down into what would become all the bum rails and the back rails, which was literally just a case of gluing 2 pieces together, and that would give me some square stock that I could then trim down, use all the tools, and get the pieces that I need. I initially thought I was going to be 1 rail short, so I actually laminated all the little cut-offs, offcuts together to give myself that 1 more piece, which was kind of a bit of a throwback to the last 8 years of gluing wood together, and I thought it might actually be a half decent little effect where you would see all those laminations, but But in the end, because the colours are all so similar, you couldn't actually see them. And this whole thing is actually going to be painted. Okay, that's the original deck chair in the background, but yeah, now I'm bouncing back to making those big hoops for the armchair. So it's all done with one cut now with the CNC, and then I will just make as many of those as required to get that broad armrest look that I was going for with those nice curved arms, which has worked out, obviously, because we've all seen the video. Not a lot of CNC footage in any of my videos these days. I might bring it back in the future. I just find it a little bit boring, so I don't actually do it. If it's relevant to the video and the story, yes, I'll show people what's going on. But CNCs aren't hugely accessible to most people, and I prefer showing all the woodworking cool things, like using router tables, for example, to clean things up and do all the other bits and pieces. However you make your parts is up to you. What I'm finding is trying to use the CNC at least on one part or one process of all of my projects is enjoyable for me, because I actually like the design and the tech side of the house. But then I actually enjoy the woodworking side of the house to bring it all together. Okay, my little bum rail, seat rail action I got going here, it's basically a technique that gains all the strength for just overlapping joints. So I guess they are half lapped or whatever you're going to call it, I don't even know. At the main joint there, when all glued together, it's super strong. So at this point, I'm just gluing both sides together and clamping them just to make sure that the clamp up goes perfectly and the pieces are exactly the same. But again, they're cut by the CNC, and there was not actually a lot that could go wrong. So at this stage of the video, I've pretty much got all my parts made, and it's a case of, again, using lots of glue and gluing everything together. So if you look closer, you will see lots of voids, little gaps in there. Again, no big deal. Pause that. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this big ass router bit. Now, I've posted this video, not this particular build, but when I've used this bit before on this template, copped heaps of shit. I did. Copped heaps of shit. But I actually don't see anything unsafe with what I'm actually doing. Yes, a template bit should always be riding along the template, where I'm using this bit to basically take away a few millimeters or 4 or 5 millimeters at some point and work my way down to the template. Now, this thing is massive. It's nearly 1 inch in diameter. It's on a nice powerful motor, and it's like a helical cutter head. Not once have I ever felt this thing want to grab and rip my face off. So I'm more than comfortable with making my way down to the template to get those nice curves for the bum and the back achieved. So that's all I have to say about that. Back to router table action. Put a nice little round over on all of those pieces, and this is the stuff that I love doing. Like, that was a piece of square stock. It's now not square. It's got a nice curve. There is some roundovers, and look at that. You've turned wood into something cool that's now functional and comfortable to sit on. And I like it. That's all I have to say about that too. I don't know how long this video actually is, and I don't know how much shit I need to talk. So let me just press pause and see what's coming. Okay, what's coming is more gluing the final pieces together and more router table and roundovers and woodworking goodness. Now, the reason I chose this particular project for my last project of the shed before I packed the joint up is all the brain work was actually done, and I want to build the 2-seater version of this chair. So this is one half of that 2-seater. I haven't yet even finished doing the CAD work for the center table and how this thing is going to join together, but it's in my brain, and at the moment that's all that matters. But again, just using my machines one last time, gluing timber together, and it is literally the worst pine pallets that I've probably picked up in years. Like, I'm talking since way back when I started, before I figured out that you don't need to pick up every piece of shit pallet that you see on the side of the road. But what I found doing this project is those shit pallets still have value. You don't need amazing timber. you don't need the amazing hardwoods. So for me, this one, it's about creating something, using the timber I have to create better timber. And people still love to hate on pallets, and I love that they do. So I'm going to keep doing what I do because I like turning horrible shit timber that was going in the rubbish bin into something else. So what I've been finding lately is, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll notice that all my old videos are actually resurfacing, getting chopped into little bits and pieces. Now, I'm not actually doing that. I've got someone who takes care of that for me, and we share any revenue that Facebook can generate, which has been great to just help this side hustle keep ticking over. But what I am finding is the comments. The comments on Facebook, they're all the same comments that I've copped over the years. But I'm just finding I've got to ignore them. So if you are people that like to follow along on Facebook and comment, and I haven't got back to all of them, I do apologise. That's because it literally is bombarded with morons. For example, did you see me using the duct tape to tape up those pallets at the start of the video? Now, I created a little short clip that went on Facebook, and the gist of the clip was that I'm saving these hardwood pallets for a later project, a later video. I then use the duct tape. I try to tear the duct tape, and then I rip the duct tape with my teeth at the end of the video. It was like the last 5 seconds. The video shows the pallet buster, it shows the pneumatic nailer. They always generate lots of questions and interest. Where do I get those two tools from? But what do you think all the comments are? I can't believe he's using his teeth. Oh, that guy owns a pallet buster, but he doesn't own a penknife. Fuck me, people. Anyway, moving on. Back to the project. I'm not the world's greatest joiner, as we've all established over the last 8 years. But here is me trying to cut some joints out that are in pine. It's not the greatest timber to work with the chisels, despite them being as sharp as possible. Pine is just tends to break away. It's not fun, but you can still achieve the same goal. I did have some gaps in my joinery, but again, no big deal. Again, zoom in on those cracks around that corner. We're going to talk about that at the very end. But I do like this technique. Clear away as much as you can, and if you get your edge lines cut nicely with a flush trim router, you can just come back in and clean up all those joints and get a really nice gluing surface. So I've been starting to do that a little bit more. I don't know why I haven't been doing it for years, because I've always had the trim router, and it works really well. That one's pretty good. The others, not so good. Okay, I hope this is still recording, because I've been talking for like 7.5 minutes straight. But we are getting towards the end, so I'm just test fitting that all my bum and back. Did anyone see that? Me neither. No, those joints are perfect. Let's move on. But I am going to get those bum and back pieces seated into position. First, on the original deck chair, I actually got ahead of myself and I glued those positions into place before I put all the roundovers on. That was fine for one side of the deck chair, but then actually getting the roundover on the side with the arm and bum rest was very difficult. So I got a little bit smarter this time. I did all the roundovers before putting all the pieces together, and it was much smarter and safer, and it turned out really nicely in the end. What else can we talk about other than this piece of wood right here? As average as it might look with all its gap, the process to get this thing here, and just woodworking, gluing stuff together, making my own timber, using my big ass router table, using this big ass router bit. Now this thing is really cool. So where there was any slight misalignment, I just made sure I found one of the layers with the flush trim bit, and I could just go around and clean the thing up. And Jesus, it did a great job. Yeah, very cool. Highly recommend this bit. Despite people being scared of it, I I think it's a bit that you should not be scared of it. I think its size and its sharpness and its insert something that makes it more safe than the smaller bits that bounce around and grab into things. Just have a bash. I think my biggest advice is just don't lick the router bits. Okay? Woo! Should have grabbed a drink of water. Anyway, putting the chair together now, you can see it is still completely raw pine. Now, I haven't even screwed this thing together. In fact, I've pulled it apart and I've taken it and it's been loaded into the container, and it's ready for me to pick up where I left off. You'll notice that one arm is smaller than the other. That will be the side table. Here are those laminations. Again, it was pretty shit on one side, but this chair is going to be completely painted. I'm not putting any finishes on. It's going to be probably a white chair in the end. So all of those gaps and voids, they're all going to get filled up with a bit of spack filler and a heap of paint. And then paint is the king at keeping out the weather. They are going to last forever. Okay, anyway, here's the container. It's half full of my house at the moment. We are moving within the week and heading over to the new place. The container is going to get plonked down somewhere. I'll slowly unload the container. I've got to start work on the space for my wife's business that we are bringing home. And then from there, that's where the container's going, on the grass. Then from there, I'll start building the workshop, turning it into a workshop, if you will. And that's going to take some time. So I do hope that I can get out videos as much as possible. The screen's gone blank, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But I do hope that you come and join me on the journey, as they say. I'm very excited, massively excited about the new space. 12 meters, that's a lot of length for a workshop. Yes, it is skinny, but I'm going to solve all those things. I'm also going to, I've already thought about so many things, and I do love people's advice and suggestions. But given I've lived in Townsville for 20 years, I know the container's going to be hot. So you don't need to tell me to get it insulated. I'm on it. Okay? Thank you very much, everyone. See you later.